Hello, this is Sylvia S. Johnson, and I'm here to give a screencast of my model that I did for training workers to do an office move in our CPP renovation. So the work itself, we have to move out of our old offices into temporary new offices, and we would like to do this with some semblance of order. And the workers need information in how to proceed so they can do their jobs. So here's some workers, and I asked them if they would help me build this model, and they were kind of skeptical that making a model would be helpful, but they said okay, because what could they say? So we started with the worker, and they are there to move the stuff. And so they wanted to know what stuff needed to be moved and where was it going. And they wanted to get busy right away with very little to talk about. They wanted to get straight away from here's the stuff to let's get moving it. Then after the stuff gets moved, then they actually found out that the stuff would give feedback from the stuff, because either it fits or it doesn't. It goes on the dolly, or the dolly's too small, or the hand truck is too big. And but the workers could work with that. And ideally, the workers wanted to be able to get moving and go through as many cycles of this as they could before they had to go back and see the supervisor again. And as many times as possible, they would like to go and actually say, well, here's the stuff and it's where it belongs, and boom, I'm done. This is my evidence of my job well done. So here's my workers where they were looking at this, and this is where we're headed. When I asked them, I said to the workers, well, here's the model, and how would this turn out? And they said, well, what we really could like, was there a place we could improve this? They would like to have more information. And having that information box there to point to, they said, yeah, that's really where the problem is. We don't have enough information. So we went back and I said, well, now let's think about this. Who's giving you that information? It's coming from the supervisor. And so we realized that we needed a whole new separate information building block for this other role. We got the worker role here and what they were doing, and then we had the supervisor role, and we realized the supervisor needed information. And then as we blocked this out, these guys are like, they're happy, yeah, now this, because they could see that there was going to actually fix something for them. And here's the supervisor. He's agreeing with us that the supervisor needed information before they could impart the information to the worker. And so this shows where the workers were having their frustration, because everything was getting done twice. And it turned out that from the supervisor's point of view, they had to walk their way through and talk it through, and they had to imagine themselves moving the stuff, and then they had to imagine the stuff fitting there, and so all of this had to be done double. And this double doing of everything was very frustrating to the workers, because they wanted to just get going and work. But by having it modeled out like this, they realized that they couldn't get their wish for more information at the same time as they would not have this whole stream above here going on. And so they were, from the model, they were able to see the supervisor had to talk themselves through the whole process, all the way through the information, the dialogue, the practice, and the feedback, so that they would know what to tell the workers down here in the second step, the information, the dialogue, and then the worker could actually go out and do the things. So this is like pre-work, and then this is the real work. And from doing the model, the workers understood why the supervisors talked so much, because they didn't really have this information. They had to go through it and practice it in their head and see how it fit, and get some feedback and touch the stuff and see how big it was and whether it would fit through the door or the hand truck was big enough or whatever. So that just shows the double there and then the double here. And then, so our big deal was we said, finally the supervisor gets through to here, and then finally, then we can come down here to the second line and the worker can actually get busy. And then hopefully the worker would be able to go back around as many times as possible, dropping off the stuff in evidence where it belongs. And the workers also thought that this was kind of interesting, is that there's no evidence box up here for the supervisors, because that would have really kind of defeated the purpose of having the workers all together, because why would they need workers if the supervisors want to move everything? So it was interesting that they had to figure out how to tell somebody else to move it without actually moving it themselves. And so we only have one evidence box here on the bottom because only the workers did the actual moving. And that was I wanted to say. After the supervisor goes through the steps, then the workers can get busy. Here's two other workers looking at this model with me from the worker's point of view. She was very interested about the feedback, how this stuff, if it doesn't fit, there's nothing you can do. You have to get the right tools. And here we have, it kind of looks like an evidence box, so I thought this was cute, this evidence of a job well done. So there you have it, a model of training workers for an office move.